Alright, now in episode 1, we knew that we're gonna get some answers. So in this episode, we actually got some answers. Which, in this episode, we actually saw Hibiki asking his classmates about the monster attack. And they don't actually remember everything because they thought that he still have amnesia. But Usumi actually thought that they don't actually remember a thing. In which Rika actually thought that everybody have been restored to their normal state, which her friends Namiko and Hus appeared, which they actually thought they actually remember everything about the monsters, but they don't. But they actually saw something strange because they actually saw a few students missing, including Takawa and Tuko, which she actually asked, are they actually here? And they actually hasn't, in which they still in their volleyball club. But during the monster attack, we actually seen Tukawa actually been attacked by the monster, which we actually saw what actually happened, but we actually knew how all this actually happens within Hibiki actually eating lunch with Shinju, which she actually asked everything about him having no memory, which she actually thought was a good feeling. But then she actually left. Then she actually bumped into her teacher, which he actually didn't say sorry to her or excuse me, which she actually has this look in her face, which Usumi is also going to the junk shop with Hibiki and Rika, but she actually said that the shop was actually closed, in which they actually knew who created the monsters. Then it all actually revealed when Shinzu actually went to her house, and then she actually met up with a computer program by the name of Alexis, in which that's the dark opposite of Gridman, which we actually realized that it was Shinju who was the one who created the monsters, in which we knew what's going to happen, in which she actually created the monsters, in which we actually go to the junk shop, which Rika and Usumi saw Gridman, but they cannot hear him. That is when this mysterious stranger, where in episode 1, where Hibiki actually saw him, he actually came into the shop, which he introduced himself as Samurai Calibur. And then Calibur actually went over to the computer and he actually fixed it, which they can actually see and hear Gridman, which he actually say that Hibiki have a mission to deal with, and which we knew what he actually talking about. But then Usumi actually bring a note where the students actually with the students' address. But then they actually knew that we gonna find out where those students are. First, they actually went to Takawa house, and that was when her father actually say she actually died in middle school. Same happened to Tuku and all the other students. They actually went. Well, there are actually 4 of them. But then that's actually revealed that Shinju actually created the monsters because Tekawa actually playing her volleyball and hit the special hot dog. I think she actually doing this because she actually felt that she wanted to get revenge on those who actually done wrong with her. In which it actually turns out that it actually means that she's working with Alexis to create a new monster for for her teacher. in which we actually knew what they're up against. And so this monster they actually created actually has a Pegasaurus head with a shell around his body, and then Alexis bring it back to life, which the monster saw the homeroom teacher and decided to attack him, in which they actually went back to the junk shop where Gridman told Hibiki that he's an energy without substance, and there's an only way that he can actually transform Hibiki into Gridman. So he actually bring out his and Hibiki's primal acceptor. It's actually a transformation device that allows Hibiki to transform the Gridman, which he actually uses calling his transformation call, which is Access Flash, which he had transformed into Gridman. But he actually got a paint job, which is all red and blue and gold, in which we seen him fighting the monster. And so when he actually used his grid beam, the monster reflects and actually hits back at Gridman. And that is when the the glow on his forehead, that's actually a sensor, meaning that he's actually getting beat, which that is when Calibur actually used access code, and then he transformed into Gridman's weapon called Gridman Calibur, a weapon that he actually used to help him defeat the monster. So he actually used its final attack, Gridman Calibur N, a slashing attack that he defeated the monster with. And so the city was actually saved, as well as Namiko and Hus, which Rika say that they're okay, and so she actually goes back over to them. She goes back over to them, in which Shinjo actually felt defeated while she kicked the computer with Alexis inside. But then they actually realized what they knew about the monsters, but they didn't know about Shinju. But then when Hibiki bumped into his teacher, he actually says sorry, but Shinsu didn't hear him say sorry when she bumped into him. So it's actually something that we never actually thought she's gonna create monsters. So in the third episode, we're gonna see how all this going to be different. So this is all actually revealed in one episode. Jinsu working with Alexis, she created the monsters, and then Hibiki got his primal acceptor, and then he got the mysterious person Calibur transformed into his weapon Gridman Calibur. So we actually knew what going to happen. So I cannot wait for episode 3 of what they're going to do next. So anyway, like this video, subscribe for more, and comment on what you think about the episode. You guys can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and like my Facebook page. Until then, this is Anime Guy here saying sign out. Laters!